Everyone, welcome back. So today's topic of discussion is going to be putting a dedicated PPF and vinyl ceramic coating to a piece of vinyl and PPF on the headlights. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I noticed that I have a small water spot here on the upper corner of this piece of vinyl here. It's very hard to see, but it's there. And the reason I'm reapplying a coating on here is because I used a water spot remover and I noticed, or I shouldn't say I noticed, it did destroy the hydrophobics of the Diamond Protect PPF coating. So I used CarPro Spotless 2.0. I don't know let me know what you guys think about this product here. For me, I rarely use it because I think it's too strong. I think 1.0 was decent if you're doing it like declogging the coating for to restore hydrophobics, but I think this is too strong because it always does damage to the hydrophobics of a coating whenever I use it. So that's why I rarely use it. I would use it if a car came in and had water spots already, just to remove some of that mineral, but I wouldn't use this as part of my coating maintenance procedure to restore the hydrophobics. So I use this. I think it's a little too strong. And then I polished it with Dr. Beasley's NSP 45, which is the finest polish of the NSPs, and I used a CarPro gloss pad, which is a super soft pad, and so I'm really just letting the abrasives do the work because I don't want to impart any more defects into the vinyl. So you know primarily you want to use something real soft and a real soft abrasive polish to polish it, and the pad isn't going to get dirty because vinyl is rather porous, as is PPF, and so your pads are going to get a little dirty. So I'm not going to be using the Diamond Protect coating again, although I would use it again. I thought it was pretty good. Again, nano diamonds, at least in my experience, are not going to protect you from water spots. So as far as the coating, I've chosen to go with the Jade Sapphire PPF and wrap ceramic coating. This is a, again, dedicated coating for those two surfaces here. I need to find out. I believe it's safe for matte surfaces like matte PPF and matte vinyl. I believe it is going to add a little bit of a sheen on the matte surface. I'll have to find out. And I believe this is an up to 2-year coating. I'm pretty sure it's up to 2-year coating on those surfaces here. So this coating also has the UV tracer. So if I have a UV light and I turn it on, you can see it has that glow in the dark feature here. And that UV tracer is actually helpful if, say, I apply a jade, and it's primarily for jade coatings and Adams coatings, and we'll get to that in a second. So if I apply it to this area here, and say I'm inspecting it with the UV light, and I see a spot that doesn't have coverage, that's where I can reapply the coating and say, hey, okay, now I have even coverage there. That's what the UV tracer is designed for, to see if you have even coverage. And if you're going to have to turn your lights off in order for you to use the UV light and the UV tracer, because the light is going to wash it out. Now, as I mentioned, Jade and Adams use UV tracer. That's because they're blended by B&B blending. Jade is the professional side of the coating aspect, whereas Adams is the consumer oriented line of the products there, and those are aimed for ease of use, where this you're going to get more of the they're still relatively easy, but you're going to get more solids in these coatings versus the Adams coatings. The Adams Advanced Graphene coating is as close as you're going to get to their top tier Jade Obsidian coating. Again, similar chemistry here. So I kind of just want to mention that. The only product that does not have the UV tracer is the glass coating. Again, makes sense because you don't need it to have that feature when you're applying it to glass. So if I shine it, you can see it doesn't really do that glow in the dark feature. You can see it doesn't have it in there. So I kind of just want to mention that. Okay, so I'm going to put that glass coating down for a second. I'm going to pop this open. Now this is a 60 ml bottles, and I forget the price. I'll list all that stuff there. I bought it on sale from Detail King. Oh, that whole thing came off. I need to ask my buddy to make me a coating caddy that has a bigger opening for these 60 ml bottles. Now when it comes to an applicator, when you buy a Jade coating from Detail King, they give you an auto fiber applicator, which is my preferred applicator. Now I like the bigger ones, but they give you the small one here. The reason I don't use these for demonstration purposes is because I'm only going to use one side, and then I'm going to have to throw it away and these are both two sides here. So I'm using a disposable suede and with the block just for that purpose. So we're going to go ahead and load this up. That's plenty of coating for, see, it doesn't fit in here, so I need to ask my buddy to make me a larger one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it to half of this, and I'm going to see if we can see the UV tracer portion here. So I'm going to just go ahead and draw a line. It's an imaginary line. And again, we're just going to in order for me to get to the edges, I will take this off and I will work it in here. Okay, now this does have the typical solvent smell that all their other coatings offer. So I'm gonna let that set up here. We'll take the light here. I'm gonna see if I can turn the lights off in the garage and see if I can get you to see the UV tracer. Okay, so let's see. So if it gets dark, I apologize here. Ah, perfect, 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 perfect. Hopefully you guys can see this. So you can actually see the UV tracer part of it versus this side that doesn't have anything. So you can actually see the UV tracer technology built into this. And what you're going to notice, you're going to see these little streak marks in there, which is perfectly normal. I have to come back and hit the edge here a little bit more, but it's perfectly normal to see these streaks here. Those are your applicator streaks. Perfectly normal. Eventually those will go away, but this is a good indication of what you should be seeing with the UV tracer. So I kind of wanted to showcase that. Let me see if I can get this light here from Adams. So Adams does sell this light here, which is a scan grip style light. And it also has the UV light in there to see it. So perfect. This is what I want to show you guys, the UV tracer technology in here. So let me turn the lights back on in the garage, so bear with me for a second. Okay, boom. Okay, so let me put this back on here and we'll get you guys situated, so bear with me here. Okay, so let me get my coating wipe off towels here. Now what I notice, if you don't have that the UV light, this is rainbowing here, and again I could just push my finger, and it's pretty wet right now, so I can actually go ahead and see where I'm applying those mist areas here and just put it on there. So I'm gonna let that set up a little bit longer for that, and I'll bring the chair over here. Yeah, it's got some good rainbowing going on here. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted to guys. That's how I wanted to show you the UV tracer technology in these coatings. Again, it's there primarily to help you to see if you missed a spot, and that's what I wanted to kind of just showcase. Now, the other thing about PPF and vinyl, because it's porous, you may have to go a little heavy on the coating here. So, okay, so it's still a little wet. Let it do its thing, because I think I went on kind of thick. Actually, while I'm at it, I'll apply it to the other side of that PPF or that vinyl. Actually, I'll wipe that surface. I'll just go ahead and apply it. I was going to wait to do that section, and I think I may just wait because I'm going to wipe off that section. So let me just let that sit. What I will do is I'll apply it to the PPF on the headlights. If you hear that squeaking, it's actually my shoes. These Nikes, I bought them because they were waterproof, but they're too squeaky. Okay, so that's on there. Okay, so I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and wipe it off because I think it's absorbed it enough. And the thing I like about the Jade coatings is they're pretty slick. Is that they're pretty slick, like as I mentioned. So that's why I like using the Jade coatings. I've always had success with the coatings. Let me reorganize my stuff here. And I'm going to take this. I can kind of still see it under the, yeah, I can see it under the UV light. Okay. So I can see where my mark is a little heavier than that, but I'm just going to go ahead and finish off that piece. So I put a little bit more coating on here. Probably don't need that much. That's all I really need here. Now I did go into the other area that I've already applied it to, which is perfectly fine. So that looks, just let that be. I'm going to thin it out just a little bit more right here. Okay. I'm going to apply it to the other side of the headlight for the PPF. I just applied the, it's a little too heavy. I just did it. I just polished out the PPF because I was doing this, and I was like, okay, this will be a good time to demo a coating for PPF and vinyl. Now I do owe you guys a brand overview of the Jade coating lineup, so I am planning to do that as well. So I'm actually using the coatings before I have that complete. But I believe this took over the Jade Ice part of it. I got some coating on my finger and it's on the bottle. So yeah, I believe that this took over the Jade Ice coating that was in the lineup, and they replaced it with a dedicated PPF and vinyl coating because now it's rated for 2 years. I need to find out if you can actually use this on paint and what would happen. So I'll find all that information out. I'll post all that stuff. If I have that information in time before this video goes up, I will post that up on the either part of the video or in a pinned comment. I will post all that information up for you guys. Yeah, you can actually even see the UV tracer in the PPF. So like right here, it looks like I missed a spot. So I can come back and just apply it there. Yeah, okay. Again, that's what the UV tracer is in there for, is to help you if you missed a spot. The other thing is, if you're touching the applicator like the way I was, you're going to get UV tracer on your gloves. So wear gloves with these coatings here. Let's see if I can actually see the coating on here. So the thing about these coatings is they set up pretty fast too. It just depends on the temperature and humidity. And right now, because it's rained, you know, the coatings are staying pretty wet here. It's not that warm here. Man, it's got the real nice prevalent rainbow. I think you guys can actually see it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off. Like I said, I really like the wipe off of the Jade coatings because it's really slick. To me, the slickness level is about I don't know if you guys have used the Armor Detail Supply coating yet, but it reminds me of that type of slickness, like their quartz coating, because most of you can only get quartz. It reminds me of the slickness of that. Not as about the same slickness as Geon Mo's. Not as slick as SIC from CarPro. I think that's still slicker than all these. Okay, I think I got all that wiped off. And again, I always test the coating here. If I'm still pushing it around, then it's not ready, but this looks ready because I'm not pushing coating around on there. Like I said, it has a real strong prevalent rainbow effect. Yeah, it's ready to be wiped off because I see the rainbow starting to die off. Okay. Now, if you have a brand new piece of vinyl, you don't have to do any polishing or anything like that. Worst case, you do a panel wipe. And that's about it. Okay, so that's protected and it has some nice slickness. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off because it's been on there long enough. It feels slicker on the PPF than on the vinyl. Okay, and that's it, everyone. So that's the application of it. I will come back out. I'll let this set up for about, I think it needs 12. I'll have to go back. I think it needs 12 hours for it to set up and cure before it can get wet. So I think either 12 or 24. It's one of the two. I'll figure that out as well, and then I'll post down below which one it is. I'm gonna put my coating towels there because these are still good. I can use the other side, sides 3 and 4. But yeah, it feels pretty good underneath the towel. So that's the application of Jade Sapphire, which is a PPF and vinyl wrap ceramic coating here. If you guys are interested in this, I'll post a link down below and we'll try that out and again, try it out. Again, built-in UV tracer technology to help you to see if you've missed any areas of coverage. So if you guys are new to ceramic coatings, I think that's a real helpful characteristic of the coating, because a lot of people are a little nervous their first time coating, and I think this UV tracer kind of helps aid that and kind of, you know, suppress that intimidation factor that you may have. So that's the UV tracer built into here. I believe it's up to 2-year coating, and I will find out if you can apply it over matte surfaces as well, because some people have matte graphics on their car, some people have matte PPF on their car. So I will find out if this can be applied over a matte surface, and I think that's it. So I think the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wait, and I'll bring you back for hydrophobics on the coating here. And again, they have the different UV lights. I will post links to the UV light. This is actually the one I bought off the Adams thing because it has their Adams thing on here, but you can get these on Amazon for cheap. And then I also purchased the Adams light just to kind of, because I wanted to see how well this one worked, and this has the built-in UV light, and it works pretty well in complete darkness. Plus, it can also work as a swirl finder light because it does have the different color temperatures on there. So overall, I think it's a good buy. I paid like $50 for this, so it was pretty affordable. And again, thanks for watching. I think so. Stay tuned for the hydrophobics. Take care, guys. All right, everyone, welcome back here. So I'm going to just go ahead and do the hydrophobic test on the coating here, the Jade Sapphire. I didn't hear back from Nate. Hopefully, he might be on holiday break here because it is the 22nd here, and so I emailed him pretty late on December 21st. So I'm just waiting for him to respond back to whether or not the coating is safe for matte surfaces. So I don't have that information yet. If I get it, I'll just go ahead and post it in a pinned comment. But for now, just be wary. Do a test spot if you're going to use Jade Sapphire on the matte surfaces like matte vinyl and matte PPF. Just do a little test spot here. So I'm just going to have water in a spray bottle. So we're just going to take a look at it here. And so I hope that you can actually see this. It's kind of hard to capture. It's pretty hydrophobic. So I think there you go. So it's a pretty hydrophobic coating. And so you're gonna get some real tight water beading on the surface, and it will eventually just sheet to a point. So overall, I think it's very user-friendly coating. You're not going to have any issues with it. And again, I showed you the UV tracer aspect of it. Let me just dry this off with this PFM towel. I showed you the UV tracer portion, which again, it's a helpful aid in the application of it. It's up to 2-year coating. Again, I'm probably on vinyl and PPF. The vinyl and the PPF here. So if your car has more PPF or more vinyl, you're probably going to use a little bit more product, because vinyl and PPF are a bit on the poor side. But that's the product here. It does feel pretty nice. I mean, it's definitely smooth, a lot slicker underneath the towel than just with my bare hand. But again, my hands are a little wet here from wiping this down. But it does feel nice underneath the towel, so that when you're washing, you're not going to have your mitt and everything is going to glide over the surface very easy. So again, it's Jade Sapphire. If you guys have any comments or questions on this coating, go ahead and post down below. One last thing I will say is that this coating is made in the USA. So for those of you who want to support a brand here in the US, because B&B Blending is based in the US, so if you're overseas, you may not be able to get these coatings. If you want to try to get them, you can probably try through some suppliers to see if they can ship overseas. I've had no problems with the coating here. Again, in my area, they work just fine, and I've had success with them. So I do recommend at least looking at them, giving them a try, and see if they work for you. If they don't, just polish it off and try another coating. But that's the Jade Sapphire. Again, thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next one.